Sorry. Should have known with the red light. Right. Can see that. So this is a total mod replacement. Well, now I'm freaking out. Am I getting audio? Yeah. So they go through and they change how gear, or at least they change the presentation and how gear modifies the spells and effects that are in the game, and they add a massive number of spells into a much more well-defined set of categories. So you're seeing spells that don't exist normally in Elden Ring. However, I think many of them are actually just powers that environmentals or mobs have that they've now added to it. Right. So, it's this spell, for example, is Wave of Corruption, right? So the deal with this is that it has a very long range. It's a ground effect, and it sort of grinds stuff down from here. Now, because it wasn't designed to be used as spells, there are times when they will behave in weird ways. But in some cases, it's stuff like it's just going to affect all the ground that it finds in that range. So I can intentionally infect, if you will, all the things that are in that. And the range is actually quite large. It's doing health damage, but it's also building up Death Blight. Death Blight in this game very, very rarely will actually cause that death buildup that you get as a player, where like the ground thing comes up and you just die instantly. That's happened to like one or two mobs in the whole. And they're like NPCs. They're other... Not NPCs, they're other tarnished, if I remember, and not even all of those. So it may be a mistake that it works at all. But when that builds up on the creature, what happens? They get a bunch of spikes on their back. They become more, they take more damage than they normally would. It's like a 20% damage resistance reduction or something like that. Anyway. It is a very effective set of spells. And then armor-wise, some armor is... armor and items that you have, those are totally new. Like this shield that I'm carrying right now is a... Here, I'll just bring it up. Ugh. Alright, so it grants additional 1 FP regeneration per second. That's the only reason I have it, is just for FP generation. But you inherently generate 1 FP every second, all the time. And then this shield gives you 1 more, and then this spell, where is it? Phoenix of Death, grants 2 more. And then each class... no, I don't think... Well, I mean, it's... I have a 5080. My machine was built for 2 things: compiling code and playing games. So it's pretty good at both of those. So this is primarily designed to be a modified kind of way to play through, but because you're watching Master. Because you're watching the DLC, very little has been changed in the DLC compared to the base game. In the base game, massive sections of the map have been drastically modified. And the other thing that you're not seeing, normally I have a summon with me the whole time. Or at least I'm allowed to have a summon with me the whole time. This area I've entered into doesn't seem to allow that. I'm not sure why. I'm hoping that at least the end boss does. But you can walk around the entire game as a necromancer, and there's one other class where you have a summon available to you, like, at any given moment, which I think is pretty cool. Now, the trick is that guy. I don't have a good spell. That guy and that guy are both going to be quite problematic. I don't think that I have a heavy bow on me, or if I do, I probably can't use it. I do. on, I might be able to do at least a heavy attack, which is what I really need. Like, I ain't gonna pretend. Let's see. Alright, I just need to knock that guy down. Is he down? He's down. Okay. What? That guy. So this torch increases holy damage, or death magic, which these spells, they do holy damage, but they're considered to be death magic. Yeah, Omer, you've now seen the way to handle those. There's one more, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Yeah, those guys are just a serious pain. Yeah, I hate those. I hate these guys too. It's just a frustrating mob to have to fight, that's all. I don't know if that guy's going to be in range or not. He is. Oh, nope. I hit somebody else. I see if that reaches. I'm just hoping it reaches and gets to that guy. Guys, they're such a pain. There's also more healing spells, so even though I'm a sorcerer user, I can heal. Which is pretty cool. So, the trick in the base game, forget the spells that I'm using right now. In the base game, the way to handle those guys is with a heavy bow. A great bow. You just literally shoot them until they drop over an edge, and then you can walk up to much closer and handle them. But the spell set that you get with this... Not worried about that guy. Boom. Oh, and there's spells like this. So it comes with a whole bunch of, like, new buff spells, and that's really cool. So the buffing spells come... Here, I'll open them up and show you, because there's a lot... You'll see there's a lot more spells now. So this is just in the sorcery side of the world. So let's say, for example... And not all buff spells actually turn out to be buffs. Yeah. So, let's see. I'm using Phoenix of Death, which if you look at... there we go. Oh, there we are. So if you notice, it says here, Legendary Enchantment. So there are multiple types of enchantments, and you can have one of each. Legendary are, and there are multiple legendary enchantments. Some of them are very tied to the class that you're playing, or the class design that you're playing, because it augments the other ones. So if you have this, you get this too, kind of thing. But if you start to look at these various, like air tax is an offensive spell, but they treat it like it's defensive. So Gathering Storm is an offensive enchantment, and then Dematerialize is a defensive enchantment. So they have a lot more of these, but the problem is they end up taking slots that you would use other things for. As a pet class, and what's bugging me, since I can't summon a pet, half my spells are based around the idea of having a pet. And because I can't summon a pet right now, I could replace those spells, but I might get my ability to summon the pet back. Anyway. Oh, come on. I didn't think that guy was going to wake up so fast. Wasn't paying very close attention. And they do have, I mean, the old stuff is still there. What's changed from that perspective is the gear may be modified. Or you simply get access to it sooner. Now, the question is he in range now? No, that's okay. Oi, come on. Bite your tongue or something. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see. We're going to play with this guy a little bit. This is a necromancer. It is one of the pre-designed builds from Convergence, specifically. This one doesn't do much damage, but it does it really fast. This is the spell that actually does the sort of big hit damage. But the problem is you run out of FP and everything really fast. Which is why you'll see me pull the shield out. Why is it doing that? Alright. Got those guys taken care of. And then the I have on the shield I think this is actually from the base game. I just never normally use it. Holy Ground, which gives healing. Okay, so no, I'm not. In Convergence, in this mod, you always get 1 FP back per second. Just always get 1 back. The shield that I just equipped gives me 1 more. So I'm getting 2 per second. And then I also have this buff, Phoenix of Death, which gives me 2 more per second. So I'm getting FP back at a rate of 4 FP per second because of those things. Oh boy. Not in range. All right. It is. I've never seen it in base game. I'm pretty sure this shield is part of the mod. What's it called? Shield of Starlight. I'm sure it's part of the mod. The mod takes... No, yeah. I wish. It's a bummer, actually. And this isn't a minor mod. This installs like a separate game. What you do is when you download it, you install the entire thing into its own directory. You do not install it into Elden Ring directory at all. And then you tell it where your Elden Ring is, and it actually like connects everything back. Hey, Newski. So in a way, this one could, in theory, strong in theory, heavy lifting there, could be on the Xbox or other console. All they would need to do... That Stone Sentry is an interesting one. All they would really need to do would be to install it like a separate game and have it be smart about where Elden Ring is. I doubt they'd be allowed to do that. There's no way they get the certification. But in theory... Making a change on my streaming machine. There we go. Better. Destined Death. You mean... You don't mean Destined Death. You mean, the Death Blight, right? Oh, hold on. I need actually is resistance. No, Destined Death is still another thing. It's just that's the red blade kind of looking thing that does the reduction in maximum hit points and all that. So Deathblight buildup does something. This is slightly complicated. So Deathblight buildup has the potential to do what it does in the base game. It is exceptionally rare to encounter a creature that is affected by it that way. The way you get, like, the build-up and then you just, like, go, like, just instantly die. I've seen that happen on a couple of Tarnished in the game. When I get invaded and I use it on them, that has worked on them on rare occasion. I think it's not supposed to. So, set that aside. That's not why you use it. Not at all. When you get the Deathblight buildup, it acts like frost in a way, and it reduces the ability for that creature to absorb damage instead of taking hit point damage. So once I get that built up on them, my spells start doing more damage. It's a trade-off, is the deal. So the yeah. The damage that it does is holy damage. So, which seems kind of contrary, but it's the only kind of damage they have. So if you look at, for example, here's my staff. If you actually look at the way... I even do that in the base game, because I ain't thinking. Hold on. Stupid thing is I can see it from here. So notice that the description's completely different now. Yeah, this is much more effective. So you'll notice that this staff does Holy, Lightning, Fire, Magic, Physical in an order. Every staff will have some order. This one is optimal for Physical, this one also, but these are both greater. And then this is Physical Affinity. This is Aberrant Sorcery type of Affinity. This is optimal for Fire, etc., etc. These seals work the same way. Different items will give you different advantages with each one of these. Hold on. I need to think about if I want these spells. I don't think I want Gale Blast. I do want Cloud Form. I don't think I want this spell. Yeah, this gives you a much faster build-up. The big main use spell is Rancor Bolt. Actually, is the one that you typically do that does the most damage. It's fast. But I'm going to want for this boss a different spell. I'm assuming it's also the same boss. But I'm not sure which one. It's actually a really effective spell if you can get it off. That's the problem, is actually getting that spell to set off. I'm going to replace with this. And I think I want... Okay. Now the real question is, am I going to be able to summon my pet? Because that's what I really want. Yeah, I may be allowed to. Normally I'd be able to summon it anytime I want, but for some reason down here it doesn't work. Dung Eater? Yeah. We'll do Dung Eater. I'm okay with that. Ow. So see how he's got that burning kind of look to him now? So he's got that buildup that makes him take more damage now. Aw, crappy horse. I got him. Unfortunately, I got him at a bad time. Actually, look at that. Look at those angry skulls. So, I'm in this mode where that Phoenix actually worked. And notice Dung Eater's sticking around. We'll see if that changes. But I'm actually in an unfortunate mode. Let me... Hold on. I actually kind of got to go fix that. Maybe not. Hold on, I need to think about this for a minute. Usually, so you saw that huge... Yes, this is Convergence, but it's like a total replacement mod. Called Elden Ring Convergence. You can go find it. It's PC only, unfortunately, but it's a massive replacement. The DLC, the replacement is much smaller than it is in the base game. In the base game, like whole dungeons are completely different. You'll walk, you won't even recognize them. They're just like total replacements. Sacrifice. That gives me a buff. However, I'm in this weird mode where I actually need to find... That's what's crazy. Hold on, give me a sec. There, you're about to see what I'm talking about, I think. Maybe not. So if I go to Church of Ele, this may actually not be any different. Yeah, this one's largely the same. Alright, let me go somewhere where it really is different. This one's probably different. You're asking a really critical question. Let me attempt to answer it in the most intelligent way that I can. This would be a lot less fun if I had not played regular vanilla Elden Ring first. What it is that's making this fun for me is that for at least a little while I'm playing this game, it's easier, and I have a lot more direct ability and understanding of how to make it play the way that I want it to play. Base Elden Ring, for really good reasons, makes it harder, and does a better job of making you feel like you've accomplished something for real, like a real accomplishment when you've beaten many of the bosses and whatnot, like the feeling you get from there. Here, I don't get any of that, but I've already had that aspect of it. It's like if you eat a bunch of ice cream and then you eat cake, the cake isn't as good as if you'd eaten a regular meal that wasn't all sweet. I don't know. It's by playing Elden Ring, this is like a vacation where I can still play Elden Ring. if all you do is are on vacation, you may enjoy it, but you're not going to appreciate it. I hope that makes sense. So it's much more fun from a fluffy standpoint. It's neat to see new stuff, right? I'm seeing new things. I'm playing with new spells. That makes it more fun. But that I'm feeling that because I have Elden Ring to see the difference from. If somebody just installed this and never played Elden Ring, I think they would enjoy it, but then regular Elden Ring would not be as enjoyable. So you can already see two major differences. Three major differences, actually. One, I can summon right now. Without writing... I screwed this up. If I don't cast this spell first, I lose my stats. So I can... In most of base game, you can summon your pet anywhere you want. There are some problems, but they're bugs. The second thing is the mob type. These guys aren't normally in dungeons, right? And the third thing is this isn't normally here. And then as you go deeper into the dungeon, you'll start to notice that while big aspects of this dungeon look similar, other aspects do not. That guy's here. Right, it's a completely different set of guys that are here. So for this dungeon, the floor print is the same. What they changed... Oh. Right, so for this dungeon, the floor print's different. But otherwise, this stuff's very similar. However, if we go to... Oh, I know which one. Hold on. If I go to the Spirit Caller Cave, is it this one? No. This one. Cave of the Forlorn. This is very different. And there's one more that's just totally... Here we go. Sanctum of Igle. If you walked into this, you would not recognize it at all. You'd be like, I don't know what dungeon I'm in. You would think that it was one of those forges from the DLC. Nothing about this is anything like the base game. There's literally no similarity at all. So most of the time, most of these changes can be major in that they like fill things with debris and maybe block off a way, so you have to go the long way. But this is a whole different. Reduvius Dagger is really good, but it serves a specific purpose, is the thing. Hold on, I'm going back to Thalir. It's a specific build weapon. Yeah, or if you played the DLC, like the blacksmith guys, the smith script mobs. It's a little bit more than that. So in the base game, Reduvia's dagger is a bleed effect item. The catch is it gives you bleed at range, which is nice, but it's really short range. In fact, you're still in range of like certain creatures' attacks. So it's an excellent build, but you have to think like a dagger wielder kind of build. I think that it's one of the more difficult to do it well. You really want to have a buckler and to be doing parry as one of your primary ways to fight mobs. And then the bleed is something you do as the bonus attack in between to try and get the bleed buildup on top of what the other does. It's a great weapon. I've never been able to use it very successfully because I've never been very good at the parry with a shield, with a buckler, for example. That's never been my strong suit. But again, that's very much up to you in terms of what makes sense.
I'm feeling rather lost at St. Trina.
I didn't meet St. Trina yet, so I screwed that up. Hold on. If you wanted to go with a bleed build, I think having again, it depends on what point in the game. If you're at the very beginning, Reduvia is a great weapon. If you're deeper into the game, you can get the Uchigatana, which is you can pick up very early in the game, and put an Ash of War on it with a bleed effect that is, I believe, more effective than Reduvia. Okay, you're asking a bigger question than you might realize. I would pick Uchigatana because I would be using it with I'd be using it with a staff for casting spells. I'd have staff offhand, Uchigatana main hand, and I've done that build. I've done that playstyle. And there's lots of ways you can go with it. One fantastic way is to actually put a frost effect on your Uchigatana, and then use frost-based spells, and there's a good synergy that happens there. If you want to do bleed, you could do bleed on... yeah, it's lighter. If that's an issue. You know, that's an issue really of what armor that you pick. Now, small recommendation, even in the base game, if you're going to collect all of these, which you should, run around, collect all of them. Falling branch. What's that do? Oh, that's the one that... FP. Yep. Okay. Okay, so once you're in the DLC... Don't collect all those goods, come back. You don't have to teleport back, but come back here and run back in. And I'll show you why once I talk to Trina and die. How's this gonna... Oh, I didn't take that. Okay, no worries. So... Once you're in the DLC, things change a little bit because you have better armor and gear available. I think Milady is probably a better weapon than the katanas, unless you're specifically going for bleed. If you want to do bleed actively, that's different. So see how this pile is right here on my path to go talk to Trina again? That is what you want. It makes it way easier. If you run around the room, collect all this stuff, and then, excuse me, and then walk up to Trina, talk to Trina, and die, your rune pile's not going to be there. It's going to be like somewhere off randomly in the room, and you'll get into a cycle where you'll have to run to the rune pile, then run back to Trina, instead of just run in, talk to Trina, run in, talk to Trina, run in, talk to Trina. Nothing. Mod's free. What I really want to do is Thalier now. But it's PC only. You can only get it on the PC.
I had something. I'm heading south. I've recalled. He just go. That must be where. I'm heading to the shore.
What's weird is usually I thought you got a message. You can tell them I found St. Trina. I know where they are. Anyway.
Trina. Oh, St. Trina. What velvety ambrosia is this? Your poison and the sweet sleep.
Let him finish his little speech. I don't want to mess up anything.
Please, let me hear your voice. To St. Trina soon. Let me be. Oh, you must St. Trina. It must be. So that let me be.
I haven't played the game with a controller. I think there are huge advantages to using a controller. But I'm used to playing games with PC. Used to playing games keyboard mouse, so So you notice the rune pile's going to be much closer to Trina now because I went all the way down, then went back to Thalier, then back to Trina. So it means the time where it decides where to put the rune pile is going to be in a weird spot. But it's in the straight path at least. Curious what happens with this. Like, does this mess this up? Just curious. Ah, okay, good. It doesn't mess it up at least. This next one should start the series of messages. So, have you picked up all of the whetstones that let you add affinities to weapons when you add an Ash of War to them? Mike Strid. Giarota?
Why won't you share your voice with me? Grant me.
Ah, okay. So let me... You may have picked up whetstones already and not realized it. Because this game, the way that because the mod, the way that it works, doesn't use them the same way, I can't show you here. I'd have to log into base Elden Ring. But each whetstone that you find... Each whetstone that you find allows you to increase the gives you more options for affinities that you can add. Now, some Ashes of War don't work with other affinities. If you pick up a Ash of War, there may be one that only does magic, and so you can only do frost and magic damage. There may be one that's only holy and lightning. Those categorize together for whatever reason. So that's something to keep in mind. Just because you have the blood, the occult whetstone, doesn't mean that you can put blood on every single item that you get with every Ash of War. So there is some limit, but you can get an Ash of War like what's it called? Lion's Claw? No, the whetstones are found. There are a number of places where you can find them. I can actually show you where you find the very first one and the most important one. Trying to get unfortunately you have to go through this set of messages. This feels gratuitous that you have to just keep going back. You're welcome. If you stick around for a few minutes, I'll show you. I just want to finish this little cycle. This is the big one. That's the one I needed. Now, I can talk to Alir.
Please. Oh, thank only I. Why would you, if you should? Oh, I won't be. Please, I cannot, and I will never.
Yep, you'll never forgive me. I know. I know. I know. Hold on. I have to kill that guy when he invades me.
I will never forgive you. For your trespass, you will know my poison.
Man.
Strength for what?
My last character I did, I think I got to NG14. Rest. Now we're going to come back here. Talk to Thalir again.
I was no weak, as I suppose. Tell me, assuming what did. Could it please in my.
All right, we are done here. Okay. That finishes this part. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to, so hold on. We're gonna, so you'll actually see how this is, I don't know why it does this are too much smaller resolution. All right, so there you can see the other games I play, or some of them anyway. Alright, so this is the regular game. Now I'm gonna, like, miss all my spells. It's totally on it. This is the character I usually stream on. When I'm playing base game, that is. Okay. So, the whetstones in your inventory. Are they key items? There. So, this is the first one you get, whetstone knife. And you get that in the very opening area. If you didn't pick this up, I'll show you right where it is. It's, like, super close to the beginning of the game. All of the rest of these you're going to pick up depending on where you go and when. So you may not get them in this order. When you have whetstones, what they let you do, when you go to Ashes of War, if you pick an item that you can put various abilities on, like let's say this Fire Knight short sword, I can pick any of these and put them on. Now some of these are already clearly aligned with some affinity, right? So frost, blood, death, occult is actually what it's called. Poison, rot, holy, lightning, fire, lightning, more lightning, fire, magic. And then these are the ones that don't have an affinity toward something like that. Now, but I can pick any of these, and with that weapon that I just chose, which I think is a dagger. Yeah, it's a dagger. Fire Knight Short Sword's a dagger class. So I could pick, for example, I don't know. I just want to get a decent one. Actually, one of the most powerful ones in the game. Actually, I'll do the bleed one, just so I can show you bleed example. So you could pick, for example, one of these blood blade. And I can put poison, blood, or occult on it. And then there are two things that gives you. One, it'll make it so that that weapon, notice right now the weapon has no passive effect. But if you watch, this is what you add. If I add poison, I get poison buildup. If I add blood, I get blood loss buildup. And if I add occult, I get nothing. But also it changes the scaling stats. And this gives you an idea about what. So if you are an arcane build, if you've been pushing an arcane dexterity build, what you want is to see increases in dex and arcane. Hey, Elden, I'm explaining the affinity and the whetstones just for a minute or two. So if I do blood, right, it adds arcane, etc., right? And then if I look at the damage that I lose, I'm losing fire because the weapon inherently has some fire on it. But more importantly, the physical goes down. And because of the stats that my character has, I have so many stats from across the board on this character. There's not a lot that I can do to make it significantly better or worse. So as you decide which one of these you want, if you, for example, let's say I pick one of these, if I pick one of these guys, I don't know, Impaling Thrust, right? I can see most or all of them. Magic, fire, flame art, lightning, sacred, poison, blood, cold, occult, right? These all have effects on what's going to happen over here. They also change what your negation is, etc. And they will add some ability to the weapon. Oh, well, thank you, Elden. So, sacred has a high value in a weapon because depending on what the basis of that sacred is, you might kill things, you know, the ones that die but then they reassemble and come back again, usually skeletons. If you kill them with a certain set of sacred Ashes of War, they die and they don't come back automatically, which is super useful in some locations. So I always carry a weapon that has that. But if you want to do that, you actually want to use this Sacred Blade. And then you can choose lightning or sacred based on which one you want. So if you notice, if it's sacred, it's going to be heavy on faith, and if it's lightning, it's heavier on dex. But remember, you want sacred in that case because you actually want the sacred effect. Actually, the build my characters right now is an excellent build for much of the DLC. I'll show you the greater set in a second. So as you pick which one you want to look at how it affects the damage that you do, and you want to see what passive effect it might have. So if you go to a weapon like, I don't have any on me. Hold on. So I have an Uchigatana. If I find it. There we go. So the Ash of War that I have on Uchigatana is already Lion's Claw. And it has blood already on it. And it's a Dex Arcane build. So remember when I said that having... Oh, that's poison. Hold on. Sorry. So I get blood loss buildup with it. So when I said that you could use Reduvia, I prefer this setup, Uchigatana with Lion's Claw, for example, more than I like what Reduvia does. But this doesn't have a range attack, right? So if you really want a range attack, you probably want to pick something more like this. And then you could still set it to blade. Oh, here, let me actually equip the item. Oh, hold on. I haven't done this fight yet. So you're going to actually see me do a fight. At least I don't think I did this fight. So there's that big blood bleed build up. Ow. Ah. Ah. I wasn't paying attention to my frost. All right, I'm going to go back to my usual build, so give me a moment. This would be here. Lightning. Yeah. For one thing, I got to go get whatever I just lost. All right. Sorry, I've been playing a different character, so a moment, please. Oh, I didn't need that. I wanted this. I wanted this. Uh-oh. Busted my shield. Oh, bastard. Ah! Oh, I need that frost. So this is a... Now, keep in mind... Oh, yes. Okay. I'm level 450 whatever. So my stats are obscene. I don't want you to misunderstand, like, where... You know, I'm not playing as... it's called Bolt of Gransax. I'll show you in a sec. So this is the weapon that I'm using, the one where I huck it like that. It's called Bolt of Gransax. Super, super, super long range. So normally if you're doing this build, the reason I'm wearing the super heavy armor and I have everything else is because survivability is way more important when you get to those high levels because stuff hits so damn hard. It's unbelievable how hard stuff starts to hit when you scale up this high. And so just having this armor, normally you would not use this armor. You would either use this armor set, Death Knight. Normally you would use the Death Knight set because it increases the lightning damage. I don't think I do. I think that's an Xbox or console thing. I don't think PC players get it. But console people would have to respond to that. If I got a trophy for it, I'm unaware. It would be like in Steam. There would be some trophy for that. So, this build, normally, the spell set that I would use would be this. This is what it would look like. I'd still have these three. I would have this spell. Man, this is so different than incantations, by the way. If I was going lightning, I'd have this. Actually, the funny thing is I have... where is it? I don't need that heal spell. I was showing somebody something, and that was still there. I would want this spell. And I wouldn't normally have this. I would have something like this. So this is a much more likely spell set to go with this build. You'd have the Bolt of Gransax. You might have a shield. Yeah, this is the lightning build is an exceptionally powerful build. There's you can in the DLC. This is DLC armor. In the DLC, there's an item you can pick up if you've done everything correctly. This one, Priestess's Heart. And what it does is it turns you into a Dragon Priest, and you do additional lightning damage, but you can't wear armor. You have to go with 0 armor on. So you better be good at rolling. But this is the... In fact, if I actually... Yeah, I can actually switch to a light load. So this is now a light load build, so I actually have the advantage of... yeah, loading in light. So, place where I usually go just to kind of show people stuff is here. It's because of my stats. If you look at my actual stats, so yes, I have loads of builds, but look at my stats. Again, level 459, right? Because my stats are so high, I can do any build that I want. My faith is high enough for any faith build, my int is high enough for any int build, my dex is high enough that I've got maximum casting speed in any ones there. Strength is actually my lowest stat of meaning. These two are past their useful maximum. And Arcane, the scaling that I'm going to get from Arcane is not important enough because there's so much more stuff that I need. Keep in mind, this level, I need 2.6 million runes to level. And depending on the stat, like Vigor above 60 is a very expensive way to get very few hit points. Mind above 45, you're gaining very little in terms of a whole fight. 42 is actually a more realistic number, but 45 gives you some buffer. But your ability in a fight to cast is limited by your charges on your flask, not by your FP amount. As long as your FP pool from your mind is bigger than what you get from your flask, then it's lost points, right? So if each flask gives you 250 over the course of the entire fight, unless I regen FP, which generally you don't do, but unless I regen FP, and that's even slow, I'm going to have 250 times my flask charges plus 268. If I have 10 charges, that's 2,500 plus 268. If I have 400 FP, it's still 2,500 plus 400. It's not like it's 2,500 plus 400 10 times. Because having extra FP does not increase how much I get from the flask. Yes. For all intents and purposes, yes. Occasionally, like if I'm about to walk into a boss fight with 1,000,000 runes, I'm going to go finish that level and farm it. Yes, there are two things you can do. Well, they're passive. It depends on what you mean by passively. There's gear that you can wear that will make a difference. Regen, again, there are items you can wear. In the DLC, for example, there's an item that you can get. Where is it? This one. Blessed Dew Talisman. It gives you like 1 FP per second. So by the time you can even get the thing, it's a very slow tick. However, hold on. When you get up to that level, where is it? This item suddenly becomes a much more interesting item. The Cerulean Seed Talisman, because when I said it's 250 times 10, well, if this lets you get to 300, now it's 300 times 10. That's a lot more FP. So this one actually becomes more valuable. The question is, if you have to take off a damage talisman, are you just casting more spells but doing the same amount of damage? This is ultimately a game of mathematics. So something to think about. So the range on the Bolt of Grandsax, this one that I'm wearing, is ridiculous. Hold on. Once you can target, you can pretty much hit. It's honestly gross. Here we go. Out of range. Which one? That talisman? Sure. It ain't much. It's like 1 per second, which ain't much. Be nice if it was more, but also, oh, hold on, there's something else that I'm doing. None of these are spells, right? Yeah. There's another limitation. Well, okay, hold on. I will explain to you when it is worth it. Don't give up on it too much. Hold on. So, by the way, if you do this build, you want to have whatever your best order seal is in your main hand. In my case, it's Golden Order Seal. But you can also put this, the Gravelstone Seal, offhand. I'll show you why. So without the Gravelstone Seal, you're going to watch 2 numbers go by. 837 and 1503. Without the Gravelstone seal. With it... Oh, hold on. I blew the numbers up. Hold on. 961. Well, that killed him already. So, the Gravelstone gives you a damage increase for lightning spells specifically. So that's kind of useful. So, here's the time that I would say it's worth it. If you have all the time in the world to play the game. Hello. If you have all the time in the world to play the game, if you've actually got that, then while you're dungeon crawling, if you don't want to use up all your flask charges, what you can do is you can put these on temporarily. Like right now I've got it on, I'm getting my FP back very slowly, but I can't really do anything because if I spend it, it's going to be gone, right? So I can chill. I can just chill, lean back, let that regen up, and then continue on while I'm safe in a dungeon. That way I'm not eating up all of my Flask of Tears. The problem is that you don't get the mana one until you're already up in the DLC. There is also one for health, which is this one. That one you can get very close to the beginning of the game, although it's really hard early game. But you can get the Blessed Dew Talisman, and that one is kind of handy because, again, you can kick back and regen your health. So you literally put it on to your full health and then take it off again. What I really want is lightning. So now if you remember, this spell was like 961. That guy was aware of me attacking, so it was worth a little bit less. 1076. But the range on this, you just can't argue with that. Anyway, so, okay. Back to... Oh yeah, the lightning build. I think the build that is the combination of the most fun, the most powerful with reasonable survivability is this build. And you can do it, you don't need ridiculous stats for this build, right? I took the big shield off. I'm light load because of how high my stamina is. You don't need anywhere near that. You half of the points that I spent in that. What you want is faith and dex. You need 40 dex to use the Bolt of Gransax. But besides that, faith. And it's just entirely up to you and what talismans you put on. I have an entirely, set of talismans that keep me alive. And that's unnecessary. I could put points in other stuff. Actually, you have to get this weapon before you burn the tree. Once you burn the tree, you can't even get it anymore. So it's about midway through the game, maybe a third of the way into the game. Where you get the weapon, I can show you partially, but since I already burned the tree, I can only show you part of it. Alright, so see this big, huge thing right here? Right at my helmet, this in the background? Look familiar? Oh, level 63 you can get it. I'm about to log back into Convergence if you stick around for a few minutes. So, if you remember, back before the tree burned, and you beat what's-his-name, the first Elden Lord, the golden version, there's this lift. You come down this lift, you go down these stairs, There's the big statue right there. And then there's a tree right down in that area. There's like a tombstone or something right there. There's 2 guys. And then you come along here, and there's this long walkway that has a Crucible Knight on it. There are the stairs at the other end. And right about here, you can hop up to where this little thing here is missing. Again, I'll use the tip of the weapon here. See this little gap right here? You can jump up from down onto this gap and then jump down below, and that'll let you walk your way up this spear. You have to jump, go through, run along, and then jump up to the next thing. You have to do this, and along in here, you will find a little glowing blob that you can pick up. You can see it from below. The problem is that it wouldn't be there now. It's only there before you burn the tree. So this weapon is obtainable pretty early in the game if you're diligent about getting it. No, there's only trash. But, I mean, there's a Crucible Knight, so, they're not to be joked with when you're lower level, for sure. Even when you're higher level, those guys are tough. Alright, I'm going to go back to here, and then I'm going to go back to Convergence. So, Rafa, the Convergence mod is a total... You actually see me about to run it. It is a... You install it separately, and then it hooks into Elden Ring. Same core maps, but it, in some cases, drastically changes them. Waiting for the desktop to catch up. So you create a script, or there's a script that lets you start the game, and it does all the correct stuff. Thank God. I hate when I have to do all that work. I don't know. That I couldn't say. So see, it's still Elden Ring, but they call it Convergence. And then it uses different save files. It's all that. It's all different. And it changes like tons of things. In some cases, it may just be messaging, but they change a lot of how the game works. I've already killed the one that was there. I have not killed the one that was there. I don't particularly want to at this point, but I will loot up some of these. Because you can never have too many furnace visages. You're welcome. My biggest, let me give you my single biggest piece of recommendation. I've given it many times, and many people that watch who also play this game, they have agreed with this sentiment. What you want to do is learn to play the game. Learn the skills in the game. Don't worry about leveling. That happens as a consequence of playing the game. People will give you this recommendation to go kill this big dragon that's super easy to kill, or go do this or that. Don't do those things. Just go learn to play the game. That's what's going to do you good. Man, come on. Oh, it's Thin Beast Bones. Dang it. I'm just getting out of here. Don't farm. If you have 80% of a level worth of runes and you go back and you kill some mobs to finish that level, that's not farming. That's playing smart. That's just playing smart. Oh, sorry, Trevor. That sucks. I don't know why. Funny thing is, I don't actually know, for example, like how many people watch my stream. The tool that I'm using, even the TikTok thing doesn't actually tell me that correctly. Which I think is kind of funny. It's a bummer. Do. Oh God. Well, okay. That depends. In Convergence, I think I'm at like 80 hours on this character. On the base game, between all the characters I have, too many. The character I streamed on for the last couple of months, I think I have like 600 hours on. Okay, now I do want to make a change with my spells, because I don't want that. I want... There's this one spell you can get that's just too damn powerful. I love it. Pyroclasm. And... my buddy Telu. Alright, watch this. Found one. Oh, am I? Alright. I am. Oof. Yeah, this is a Convergence. Yeah, they can drop runes. I'm not big on that. I think all you're doing is kind of what you need to win the game is to learn to play the game. You know, the game punishes people that don't know how to play. It doesn't punish people that are low level. People have beaten this game at rune level 1. Right? Yeah, axe hold of runes. I'm not sure I understand that question. You mean of, like... Ah. Do I have any? Oh, come on, I gotta have runes here somewhere. Oh, did I go crafting? I did crafting. Whoops. You mean like of these? 699. The most you can have on your person, unless you put them in storage, is 99. I mean, if someone's max level and they're giving away runes, that's great, but like I said, people have beaten this game at rune level 1. So all you're doing by skipping, by becoming level 200, is just getting more hit points and not learning how to play the game. I mean, do what you want. I'm not, it's not a, this advice, oi, God bless. Oh, hell, that guy's a much bigger problem. Ah! That's on par for NG plus 4. Once you finished your first playthrough, all holds barred. No holds barred, excuse me. Just do anything. Once you get to that point, none of that matters. Just play the game, have fun. It's silly to do anything else. That's a completely different deal. Ah, I just made a mistake. Yeah. It's once you're at that point, it doesn't really matter. And once you're at New Game Plus 7, all you're doing is leveling up super slowly. So if someone comes along and gets you up to level 999 or 736 or whatever the real max level, effective max level is, you're just replaying the game over and over again. I personally would think starting a new character and creating a new challenge for yourself would be more interesting, but do whatever you like, you know. I'm not judging someone because they choose to do something that I wouldn't choose to do. You know, I think that if you want to learn how to play and enjoy the game as best you can, yeah, that sounds believable. But the thing is like, what do you get out of it? The game is supposed to be hard. If you make the game easy, you're literally just robbing the fun from your own play. That's all that you're really doing. Okay, so the build in Convergence is called Necromancer, but this is a Convergence thing. The armor doesn't do what the original armor does. Like this armor, for example, right, in the base game, this armor gives you a small health regen effect. This armor increases int, faith, and endurance by 2 and increases holy damage by 2%. The whole set has some effect like that on it. So the more, if you wear the whole, it doesn't like if you have all 4 pieces, you get even more. Not this one anyway. But because of Convergence, it has new spells, new talismans, new armor, new weapons. In some cases, like the shield I'm wearing right now is a new weapon. Oh, rats! I forgot to do this. These don't do what they did before. The Great Runes don't have the same effects. They change kind of everything. And then Dung Eater. So now, Dung Eater is a summon in the base game. You actually just have to do it. Here's how you get Dung Eater. If you've already done the playthrough, you've probably missed the chance. So the Dung Eater summon works like this. Do the Ronnie questline to the point where Saluvius gives you the potion to give to Nephili Lu. Do not give the potion to Nephili Lu. Do not give it to, what's his name, the All-Knowing. Don't do any of that. Hold on to it. Wait until you get the Dung Eater message from, what's her name, who does the spirit upgrades, and she warns you about in the room. Go walk in and talk to the guy. If you have not encountered a, what are they called? The cursed seed things. Seedbed curse, whatever it's called. The weird looking thing. Get one of those. When you get one of those, go talk to Dung Eater in the Round Table Hold. and he will give you a message that basically says, go free his body, something like that. Seedbed curse. Anyway, go free him. He gives you a key. Go free him. Go fight him back. Go back to the lake that's outside the capital. You fight him there. This is all stuff you may have done, and you're like, wait, but I didn't do that part. Go fight him there. Get invaded. Beat him. Then go back to the room where you originally found him in the underground. If you haven't been there yet, you had to go there to open the gate. Go back to that place. When you get there, he should be tied to a chair. Now, this is really important. Pay attention to this part. Read a guide, but pay attention to this part. When you talk to him, you have the option to feed him the potion. Do that then, but do not leave. Once the entire effect of him having the potion is done, so all that's left is him like slumped in the chair, you can't talk to him, you can't do anything. If you want his armor, kill him right then. If you don't do it immediately, you're done. Kill him right then, loot the armor off his body, you've already engaged the rest of it, you're okay. Go back to Saluvius, he's going to act like you gave the potion to Nephili Lu. Oh good, it worked, hey, wow, whatever, right? Go find his little underground cave near Ronnie's tower. Go in there, wander around, go back to him. How dare you invade my home? Ah, right? Go back, talk to that guy again. I have a phone call. Oh, never mind. Go back, talk to that guy again. When you talk to that guy again, Saluvius, he's going to be like, well, maybe we can make a deal. Here, buy a puppet. Buy a puppet. This is important. Go to a place where you can summon the puppet and use the puppet, even if it's a crappy one. Buy the cheapest one you can from him. You need Starlight Shards of the currency. Go back, buy the puppet from him. Go to a place where you can use it, summon it, let it actually do its work while you're fighting and everything. Finish up with whatever you're doing. Don't level it. It's not worth it unless you have so much free stuff you don't care. Then go back to Saluvius. And it's kind of hard, like, going back and talking to him and back and forth. But eventually, you'll get the ability to buy more, and Dung Eater will be purchasable for 5, I think. I can't get Liam to do anything, Tumblr. Yeah, read a guide. The guide will do a much better job explaining it. I sometimes can get Liam to comment on videos. I generally avoid doing that because if too many people come to me, then he'll stop doing it. Which video did you hold on, let me go look. Give me a second. Did you tag either of us in it? Let me see. Oh, this is the Flips Everyday one. Ah! Okay, let me offer you a... Okay, so let me make this comment. Here's the thing about the Flips Everyday deal. You got to remember, if you want Liam to encourage you to do more flips, if he comments, you're going to stop doing flips every day. Right? All right, I will do this. No, neither will he. I'll tell you what. Okay, I posted. I make no promises. I make no promises. But, do you guys want to see something crazy? Wait a minute. Oh, no. Sorry, you're seeing me stand up and wander around. Oh, here we go. Do you guys want to see something crazy? Liam's first real year of cheerleading. Oh, thank you for the rose. For those on the feed, yeah, isn't that awesome? For those on the feed that are watching me because I'm streaming gaming and are like going, what the hell is a Liam and why are we watching him do flips? Or why are we watching this other person do flips? My older child is he's a pretty good cheerleader. And some people know who he is. Let's not make the same mistake twice. So we're going to do a couple things here. Thing one, we are going to throw a lightstone off the edge, if I have one. Here we go. That's the first thing. Second thing. Oh, didn't land. All right, how about this? One down, one to go. You want to hear a fun fact about Liam? If you're still there, another rose. Thank you. I give you another fun fact. Fun fact number 2. One of the years Liam cheered, his 3rd year, he was on a level 5 restricted. You now just call that level 5. The levels have changed slightly. He was on a level 5 team, a level 4 team, and a level 1 team all at the same time. So he was filling in for an athlete that quit, and they had 2 competitions left. And because their younger sibling was on that level 1 team, in addition to other teams, because they were already also on multiple teams, because they were filling in, they needed someone to fill in, and Liam was still eligible to be on a youth team. This is his last year of youth eligibility. How crazy is that? No, junior, sorry. They were in their last year of junior eligibility. No, it wasn't their last year junior eligibility. They certainly couldn't be on a level 1 team again. The year following that is when they joined Black Ops. How crazy is that? But if you look out there, you can find videos of him cheering at that level. Oh yeah, Black Ops is an amazing team. I mean, here's the thing. No one will ever work harder than Black Ops does. Take that to the bank. Seriously. 4-hour practices, sometimes longer, 4 days a week. No one works harder. That team is a whole different level of hard work. Interesting. Hey, Isla. Yeah, Black Ops really is an amazing team. hate that guy that's up there. He's such a pain. Oh. I will, Isla. I will tell him. So what teams are you guys on? Were you just at NCA? This is the first NCA I've missed in years. I'm really sad. Seriously. So are you guys all in the UK? Nice. Nice. You know, he's one thing you guys can look into is Liam travels all over and works with teams. He's traveled internationally. He even did clinics in Spain last year. If you guys he may be at ICU. Are you guys going to stay for the whole time for Worlds? Totally forgot about that guy. So he said, okay, I'm not saying where he's going to be. I'm telling you what I heard him say in an interview, that he will be at Worlds this year. I don't know that he's going to be at Worlds this year, but he said he is. So you may have that opportunity. He cheers at Weber State and on Miami Metal. But the Pro Cheer finishes this year before... Oh, for the people that are watching for gaming... Stick around for a sec. I'll finish my thought on that. For those that are interested in gaming, that lightning set that I was wearing earlier, this is where you get it. So you want to hop off this ledge here. Watch out for that guy. And, okay, this guy's already gone. So it's this set right here. This is the lightning armor. The Death Knight armor set's right here. Well, if you approach him, he's very approachable. Do you guys have your plans for going to ICU already? I can't promise anything about going to Worlds myself. This may also be the first year I've missed Worlds in a long time. Do you guys already have your hotel plans and everything for Orlando? By any chance, like many of the other international travelers, are you staying at the Floridian? Okay. All right. Well, I can't really say where you should stay if you want to see anybody. But I would certainly pick the Floridian if I was going to go watch and make sure that I have as much time as possible to spend with my son. That's all I'm saying. But again, he may not be there. I'm being honest. He may not be there because he's not at present on a Worlds team. It's soak it all in. Seriously, soak it all in. You're going to be in the most bizarre place in the United States in so many ways. Disney is amazing. The whole experience, soak it all in. Use your passes. Go to Worlds. Go watch the teams. Get the schedule. Figure out where you need to be. Make sure you're there with enough time in advance. Even if Liam's not there, they're going to be the most amazing. Gabby Butler's going to be there. She's on 00 this year. And she's very approachable. Oh yeah, it's so much fun. So much fun. Haley and Josh. Do you guys know who Haley and Josh are? Yeah. Wait, hold on. ICU is the same time as Worlds, right? It goes ICU and then Worlds, right? Cheerleading Worlds. It's the same sort of competition. It's like 3 competitions in one. You guys compete a little bit earlier, I think, but like Double O is an international team. They're international open level 6 large co-ed. So they compete as part of the IASF. So if you're there for all of Worlds, Gabby Butler's going to be on site. Good luck. There's probably going to be people there to help make sure that she's not mobbed, but she'll be there. One thing that you could do as a whole team is you might consider, I'm making no promises, just spitballing an idea. You could reach out and just say, listen, I know that you're going to be really super busy. As a team, this is our first time ever going. We'd love to like meet you. Is there any place that you'll be or like something? And maybe, you never know. Sorry, I'm getting all verklempt. I think it's just the most amazing thing. I've met athletes from so many countries when I was there. But if I'm there, I will say this, if I am at Worlds, if I'm at Worlds, I will probably be much easier to access than Liam will. But the one promise thing that I can say, hey Leo, one thing that I can say is if you stay close to me for long enough, you will definitely get to meet Liam if he's there. Holy shnikes. You guys got me all distracted. Not a bad thing, not complaining. Nope. But I got this. Boom. So, and, you know, Liam is absolutely approachable. He really is. The only thing to remember is, just like you guys, if he's there for a team, just like you, he's got to get to, you know, his time on mat. He's got to get, you know, he still has places he needs to be. That doesn't mean don't bother him. But if he has to run, it's usually because he's got to get to whatever's next. If you can make a point to try and encounter him when he's, if you can make a point to try and encounter him when he's got some time, then he'll stop and talk. He absolutely will. Oh, I love it when people say hello. I think it's fantastic. But the one thing is that if you've never been to Worlds, Worlds takes place on 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 different floors. Some are big, some are small. The arena that you sit in, some are bigger, some are smaller. And sometimes the big teams are in the very small locations. So I would, if you know that you want to see like Double O, you're going to, and Double O's performing in the, like they're on either red or blue in that arena. It's a much smaller one. You need to be there a lot in advance because there's not many seats. If they're in the field house, then there's a lot more seats available. You'll see what it's like. It's amazing. Oh. All right, that guy. Hold on. I have to do this a certain way. Let's see if I can do it without screwing it up. I need a minute to think. Absolutely have to have that. Absolutely want to have this. hold on. This is like this is a difficult little spot right here. A moment, please. Oh, man. There we go. Ah, good, he dropped his goodie. He doesn't always drop this, but when he does, you get one of these. And that's pretty cool. Alright, sorry. That big guy will absolutely... okay, so, Leo. If you actually read my little bio that's on my stream, I make a comment about being a cheer dad. And people sometimes drop in and they want to talk about cheerleading, but most often they want to talk about my older kid. Well, there's a couple of awesome cheerleaders from, it turns out, outside of our country that were wanting to discuss about some cheer stuff. So I was talking about cheerleading worlds and all that fun and excitement. Oh, thank you for the rose again. So many. If I'm there, it'll be great. Right now, I don't have tickets to go. I will be at... excuse me. I will not be at D2 Summit. However, Liam's younger sibling and my wife will be at D2 Summit. But that takes place 2 weeks later. We may make a point to try and go to Worlds if we find out that Liam is going to go and perform for some reason, but we won't know that until probably last minute. Oh, rats. Anyway, thank you so much for the rose and the chat. I really appreciate it. Feel free to ask questions. I'll do my best to explain stuff. No, not All-Star Worlds. That's a whole different... All-Star Worlds competes against Summit and Worlds. And you have to... It's a different qualification process. There's nothing wrong with it. It's kind of like a competitor to them. And so there will be Top Gun teams at All-Star Worlds. Because for that category of teams, they'll go there instead of going to the much more expensive Summit and Worlds, just so it's a better fit for them. But there are many gyms that go to All-Star Worlds, and it's a really serious competition. But I think if you guys are doing both of them, that's what you're taking advantage of, is that they're basically around the same time. If you're going to go through the expense to come here anyway, do it all, right? Just get everything in that you can. All right, Leo, have a good one. Oh, I know what's about to happen here. Hold on. I don't need you. I need you. Yeah. And... oh, boy. Oh. No. What? I hate this boss. Even with all my spells, this boss is a pain. I gotta play smarter. I was being dumb. No. Ah. Hold on. Sacrifice. The irritating placement that guy was. Oh, come on. Seriously? Lane. Got that kill at the end, too. Hey, Sarah. All right. Screwed that one up. I was almost there. Got greedy. All right. So, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Gonna go with Dung Eater again. Oi! Hell of a time for that. Got him. Shadow Rune of Beasts. Negative health box. Oh, thank you. Oh, you probably have the... okay, there are a couple of things. Do you have the little black square right up here? It's a little red square, and it's probably got like a down arrow next to it. Okay. Did you go and talk to Fia in the Round Table Hold, and she gave you a hug? Okay. You need to use the item she gave you. It's gonna be... something that looks like this. Something like this. Right here. All right. Hold on. This whole area gets complicated. Why haven't I been knocked off my horse yet? If I can stay on my horse, this is going to be a much easier place to deal with. If I'm allowed to keep my mount, then I'm not worried about anything else in here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, alright. Well. Interesting. Oh, I should level before I lose a ton of... level up. What was I dumping my leveling into? Vigor, that's right. Let's go here. Let's get you going. That's him. Should get me something. Yeah, but look, it's letting me keep my mount. So, that's kind of unexpected. Oh, thank you for the follow. If it lets me keep my mount all through here, then I'm not concerned about this place at all. Oh no. Whoops. That'll do it for sure. Oh, interesting. Alright, I'm getting the hell out of here. We're about to run into 2 more of those guys. This must be the Convergence mod. Because that really changes, like, being able to ride in this area changes everything. Yeah, when I saw that I didn't get off my mount, I'm like, yep, alright. That, like, changes everything. Oh. Ow. I never noticed those guys did that. Brutal. Yeah, this'll make this whole fight more interesting. Oh, phone call. I gotta grab this.
Come no closer. No closer, I say. The man.
Alright, I'm on the phone at the moment, or at least I will be.